diversity has a lot of different meanings.
Diversity means having somebody in the room or around the table with different perspectives.
To me, it means variety.
It's an understanding of each individual, so knowing that each individual is unique.
Equity is the idea of making things equitable for everybody, which is not the same as equal.
I heard a great example the other day. Somebody was talking about how equality is when everybody has a pair of shoes, and equity is when people have a pair of shoes that fit.
Equity really is just fairness.
That might mean that something's provided differently for one group of our community versus others, but that we try to bring everyone to a kind of level playing field.
Inclusion means that someone's not just at the table, but their voice is really valued.
When I think of inclusion, I think of being able to not only participate, but actually help shape things.
As a county organization, as a county department, I think it's really important that we're including people who receive our services, people who work with us, people who are living here and working here.
Being able to listen with an open mind, listen to learn, not listen to respond. That's what inclusion is about.
In 2018, the Ottawa County Board of Commissioners established the first Office of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion for the county. In 2019, they hired the first director, Robin Afric.
Since the creation of the DEI office, I think that office is another step towards really institutionalizing our organization's values of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
And the county took the step to put it as an office, not just try to talk about it and intersperse it throughout everything. They said this is important enough that it needs an office, it needs a director, and we're going to care about this work and we're going to name this work. I think that's a big deal.
Robin is really active and visible in the community. Whenever I've given her a call, she has been making sure that we're all really looking through our own practices, our policies.
I was actually surprised by the decision to invest in someone like her. And what I mean by that is I think it shows it's a huge message about the value they place on doing DEIs, because I knew what Robin was bringing to the table.
Our vision is to be a space in which everybody is able to call this place the very best place to live, work, give, and engage.
Here at the Community Foundation, we also serve the whole community. And for us, supporting the DEI office was an important step to ensuring that all members of our community have the access to opportunities and can thrive.
And we can't do that, and we can't meet that mission without the work of the county and Robin.
She's really tapping into each department and helping them understand more about the DEI work.
I think that we've all become a lot more knowledgeable, and we've become a lot better networked with organizations that are either doing this work or want to be doing this work, such as many of our local units of government. And so I think the office and Robin in particular have been a key driving force to getting this to a point where we can take better action.
Between 2019 and 2020, the DEI office started making this work a reality. The Cultural Intelligence Committee, a 15-member employee-led team, carries out cultural intelligence as part of the 4Cs initiatives of Ottawa County. The CIC moved under DEI after the office's implementation, and together they build strategies around creating a culturally diverse environment where all feel welcomed.
Programs that the CIC did in 2020 was we launched a diversity book challenge. We encouraged Ottawa County employees to read a book by a diverse author. Through that program, we had 50 books that were read by Ottawa County employees in 2020.
Our biggest program, of course, that we focused on was the Diversity Forum. The Diversity Forum is something that we hold annually. It started with about a group of 25 and it's grown to like 300 participants. We had to switch things up this year because of COVID. We did it virtually, but it was still a success.
GARE, which is Governmental Allies in Race and Equity, they came and presented and did a fantastic job on really trying to implement and show people, hey, as a municipality or as a government entity, what can you do to increase your work in DEI and in this space? And I thought the outcomes there, we got really great responses from people as far as what they learned, what they're hoping to implement.
Another one of our programs too is the Migrant Resource Council. We have a couple of our gals that represent from CIC. We're making sure that the seasonal workers have what they need and we provide any support that we can.
We're working on building relationships and building connections to diverse groups in the community to make Ottawa County a more inclusive place to work.
As part of creating an inclusive work environment, the DEI office is also tasked with creating a DEI strategic plan. In 2020, we formed a DEI work group to assist the office with the completion of this work.
A lot of work and thought went into that, and it was a really thorough assessment of looking at what each department is doing with our documents. What are we doing with how we're getting information out to the community? How do we get information from the community to, incorporate into what we're doing?
As I started digging through all of the different court policies and working with my leadership team on that to review them, it became apparent pretty quickly there are a lot of places we can improve.
It was really important to get the organization, leadership from throughout the organization together to plot this DEI strategic plan. And I would say along the way, we learned together, and we also had times where we could come together and talk and end up with a direction. I think those, to me, are the most valuable things that came out of it.
The CIC initiatives and the DEI strategic plan outline just a few of the many efforts that took place in the past year and a half. We are very fortunate and thankful to have the support of many Ottawa County employees, businesses, foundations, and local municipalities joining us in diversity, equity, and inclusion work. This is only the beginning of our journey, and there is so much to look forward to in the years ahead. Together, we will continue making Ottawa County a place where you belong.
I'm really looking forward to the county meeting their goals. We do have a long-term multi-year grant with the county, which we're really proud to be a part of that development of the office. And of course, we look forward to those partnerships evolving in the years ahead.
Very, very much looking forward to being a part of the learning communities for Northern Ottawa County.
We, the Keith Foundation, are really excited about the DEI's office work around new Americans, and they recently received some funding to be able to quantify the economic impact of new Americans in our community, and also how new Americans strengthen our local community fabric.
I think this helps raise the visibility of how important diversity and inclusion is for West Michigan. Gentex is a company that has international sales. We continue to prefer to have our headquarters right here based in Ottawa County. However, what's going to be required for us is to have a very diverse workforce to support our needs.
The DEI office is going to continue to be an excellent resource to make sure that there's not implicit bias running through the work that we're doing.
My goal for the next year is that hopefully we work through a lot of our county areas, with the big goal maybe 3 years out is that we've all kind of operationalized DEI within our county and local government organizations.
I would really like to see with DEI that we're communicating with the public and making people aware of what DEI is, and ensuring that we're creating a cohesive community that everybody is welcome here.
The real test is going to be whether it's going to lead to cultural change, and that takes a while.
You don't change in a couple of years. I mean, this is 10, 20, 30 years down the road. I mean, we're started on it, but we're a long ways to go yet.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And the goal we should have as a community is to take initial step. It doesn't have to be perfect. We have to start somewhere, and it's learning that we can improve.
It's my hope that we can also build the skills needed to support the exciting and messy work of collaborating and working across differences.
We need to recognize that we have to work together as commissioners to help Robin with the total employee picture. So we need to set an example. We need to be leaders, because this is a county-wide effort. It's time that we try to bring everyone on board with this concept. And how do we do that? I think it's one person at a time.
We want Ottawa County to be a premier spot for all types of people. So that's really what I expect the DEI office is to be able to shed light on where people do not fit the norm. How do we look to those people who don't fit the norm? Are we inclusive? Do they feel like they belong?
There are a number of people who were looking for a place to apply for jobs for, who saw Where You Belong. That drew them into our myottawa.org website. And they actually made decisions to apply for jobs, and we actually hired them and brought on some good talent simply because they saw that Where You Belong.
That's the phrase, that's one of the things that caught my attention and just drew me closer to working for Ottawa County.
In order to be where you belong as a county organization, we need to make sure that we're incorporating DEI into what we do.
This is why I love the work that the DEI office is doing, because you can see it in every single article that you read or anything like that. You can really see the heart behind every single decision that's being put forward.
Everyone should belong here, and that we want people here who don't necessarily feel like the Ottawa County of 20 years ago would have been where they belong, and that we really value having all these people not just here and living here, but leading.
Knowing that you belong here in Ottawa County and that each of your jurisdictions believe that as well and want to see you here.
I think there's a word of thanks that needs to be passed on to the County Board of Commissioners. And having the vision or the wisdom to see that this is important for our community.
Way to go, Ottawa County, for making sure that we are, being a diverse, equitable, and inclusive place. And, in order to do that, you have to have somebody who's leading that cause.
When you have commissioners that want to be involved and they say, let me know how I can help, that speaks value, and then that also just kind of shows, the leadership that we have in Ottawa County, that they do want to make it a place where everybody belongs.
Every person in the county. How do we set aside our biases and learn all we can about the good points of everyone around us? That is the beginning of that welcoming process. How do we welcome everyone? That's our goal. We need to be able to make Ottawa County a welcoming, and it starts with me.
Belonging 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 starts with me.
เสิร์ชให้มาอยู่เป็นของเท่านี้มันเริ่มต้นกับข้าน้อย
Pertenecer empieza conmigo.
La pertenencia comienza avec moi.
Ottawa County, where you belong.
El condado de Ottawa, donde usted pertenece.
Ottawa County, là où vous appartenez.
Where you belong.
Where you belong.
Ottawa County, where you belong.